5 threats for Gumayusi to deal with in this game. He has to deal with the flanking Rek'Sai, flag and drag Cataclysm. The ball carriers are insane for the LCK Cup.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. Also a little bit worried about this fight that is starting to break out. 4 versus 4 in the river as they just dive on top of Pyosik. He flashes out of the way though as Kanavi is now the one in trouble. Can Pyosik actually escape? The answer is no as Gumayusi picks up first blood. Kanavi likely to go down now though as Dokdom collects one for himself. The barrier is going to be used here as Peter with a great pulverizing closer will be able to take down Guma. Flash out there as Zeka gets him to reach about a 1,000 gold lead and a great start in this game.
In this lane, as we do have a bit of a maybe contest here, late TP.
Yeah, there's a pulverize onto 2 here as Peter makes his way forward. Crescent Guard comes down though as a Cataclysm to bring Pyosik back in as Dudu is coming on over, but Zeka's gonna get here first. Closer making his way in as well. Can he find it as, okay, there is one of them as Shockwave hits onto 2 DNS. Throw down the Wombo. It's ridiculous.
It's DNS DK right now is what it looks like, Atlas.
Yeah, that's, and that's balance in all things. That's how it's supposed to be. It's all right. We're knocking each other up here between the 2 supports, but a headbutt back onto Delight. And he is just food for Dokdom.
Yeah. In this dragon, and or around this dragon.
That's a
free
free
double. Quite have it in time.
Man, I want him to flash so that he can do that again. Double pulverize to come through here from Peter. But no one there to really do too much about it. Flag damage there from Pyosik as now Kanavi's going in. Surprise. As now Dokdom on the hunt, looking for a bit of an angle here, but there's the flash in. The quickness onto 3. Empress Divide onto all of them. And it's Gumayusi that's wiping the floor with DNS. Flashes for everyone. But Kanavi should be able to finish off Pyosik. And HLE on the board. And DNS can actually fight for this. Pyosik at half health.
I think they might, if they can identify. I mean, look, there's no Varus ult, there's no Delight ult here. The problem is Closer can't get in.
Dudu has teleport, so he's going to take this first turret of the game and then look to teleport in. He does so right now. Closer now going to get thrown back here as he flashes on top of Zeka. Don't know about that one as he's now running away. There's a pulverize. No, it's a Crescent Guard from Kanavi as he does manage to take down the dragon. Kills the cow as well as Dokdom has to flash out of the fight, but it's a disaster for DNS. And HLE will do exactly what and driving the Rift Herald into this outer turret.
They had the setup, and I mentioned that Zeka thus far.
Yeah. And now Gumayusi has a loss. Whisper, he just managed to complete his Mirror Manor as well as Kanavi. Once again going in, surprise, surprise. Finds a pulverize onto 2 though, just Peter. As Gumayusi looking to try and answer this one. Chains of Corruption connects onto Closer and he's the target. Quickness charms him up and down goes the Orianna. As now Dokdom, the next one on the menu here. Kanavi not quite able to find the wind becomes lightning, but I don't think Dokdom's going to be able to do too much as he does have the spell shield. That's going to work. Takes down Delight to start this one off, but Gumayusi's got enough damage. And
Hanwha Life Esports have this insanely strong Azir. The Varus is out of control, and Pyosik is trying to do something. Oh boy.
Nice pullback there. Pyosik has to flash to get himself to safety. As in goes Kanavi, gets headbutted back, but I don't know about that. For DNS as there's the knockups as down will go Dokdom. Empress Divide doesn't do too much here as Dudu's able to avoid it with the Void Rush, but I just don't know whether he's going to survive, and the answer is absolutely not. Double kill
Every
comes
one
through.
of these fights, Hanwha Life gets stronger and stronger, and unfortunately this might have been the, for DNS, backbreaking loss of the team fight, because now how the identity of the storyline was set up a little bit here today.
Well, let's see whether HLE can hold on to this dragon here. As Kanavi and Delight, the only ones really in the area as Zeka does blast going his way over. There's the quickness into the backline. They look for Closer, and there's the Chains of Corruption from Gumayusi. Hail of Arrow is going to help Zeka take this one down. As Peter with the Unbreakable Will trying to keep himself alive. A massive knockup from Dudu though as he takes out Zeka. He's still at full health, but so is HLE as they look to chase down DNS. Dokdom does have a big old shield with the barrier. Now Zeus looking to hold him down, but the Q isn't going to land, and Gumayusi is still firing the shots. Dudu's trying to take out the Scion here, and he's not going to be able to get through the shield. Dokdom trying to get away, and he should be able to do so here as he gets out of the brush. Wanted to actually try and kill Gumayusi here, as Dudu, I don't think he's going to be able to seek this prey, as the dragon's still up, ladies and gentlemen.
Does not pan out, but it was so close. See, he goes in the brush here, wants to get that damage on the Q return. It's almost enough, but Dudu cannot get the
Dudu does need to get involved in these fights. Has 3 items and 5 kills to his name. The year of Dudu is going to have to be what they rely on if they want to win this game as he looks for a flank angle. Now Closer makes his way in with the teleport, and DNS are ready for a team fight. As HLE, they can back away if they would like. Still one Baron.
To try to just buy some additional time for that IE to come through. But it is a pretty tough margin, I think. And all the stats you get from triple Infernal Dragon is going to really add up anyways if you give that Dragon over. Baron, like, Hanwha Life Esports wanted to trap them there. They set up all that vision, but DNS just farmed and played slow, but played defensively. And they need to send Sion up there. He is coming over. Duckdom has to run as fast as he can back to this fight.
Maybe he has to ult to get himself over here as Kanavi going for the engage onto Dudu. Peter finding the pulverize onto Zeka in the backline as now Closer throws out the shockwave, but it's onto Zeka who had already gone into stasis, and they take down the counter, start this one off. Zeus is tanking so well, but Duckdom with these 4 items complete is terrifying. Boomerang is, Pyoshik not quite hitting the Cataclysm, but there's the knockup from Dudu who gets into the backline to take down Zeka, but there is Duckdom falling as well. Gumayusi doing so much damage in this fight. Double knockup once again, as Closer is the one that needs to stay alive, but he doesn't. It's Gumayusi that holds the distance, and Dudu is just getting kited around the map and cannot do anything with Zeus the Beefcake in the front line.
If there was ever going to be a redemption game for Kuma Sunahara earlier this week, that's was
as many as you can possibly put together. Is all right. Another team fight to come on through here as Closer takes another piercing arrow that just does so much damage. Into the backline does go Dudu, looking for the angle there as Pyoshik with the Cataclysm, but he gets charmed up and taken down to the GA. And you can see Zeus just buying so much space. Empress Divide onto Dudu and onto Peter. And Zeus finally will go down. The cinders fly, but down goes Duckdom as well. And Peter will follow. HLE just getting a little too big to fail now, as Zeus absolutely doing his job, and Dudu the last man standing.
And of course, Kuma gets the objective with that massive damage. I don't even remember what that item is called. I'm looking it up right now. Bastion Breaker.
That's why you don't remember, because it's got a silly name. It should just be called Weird Metal Pickaxe Item. That's probably what the name should be.
If you're PvPing, you're suddenly PvEing right afterwards really hard.
Well, this is going to be inhibited down in the mid lane, and with only Dudu there, I thought HLE might be going for the end.
Looks like maybe Duckdom was going to be able to carry this game in 2 fights. I think it might just be over. Big shockwave.
Yeah, Dudu is trying to survive, and Chains of Corruption is going to snag Closer, and he's just popped like a balloon. Piercing arrow does exactly that, and that is a dead Orianna. Now you've got Zeka going in, looking for Duckdom. Great spell shield though, as Zeka will have to go golden to keep himself alive. Can the Sivir get enough worked on? That's the question, as down will go at least the Azir to start this one off, and that is massive damage, as HLE Hail of Arrows finishes him off, and that is going to put an end to DNS here in game number 1. Gumayusi is hungry for that kill onto Pyoshik, but he is relegated to the fountain, and he may just even die. Chains of Corruption comes on in, flag and drag for fun, and flashes out of the way, but it's not going to change the outcome of this game, as the Nexus will go down, and HLE go up 1-0.
Levi has been a combo since Taliyah release date, and
the dawn of time.
It is one of the strongest, in my mind, I think has been the best in the early game. So close to being able to kill him actually with Between Worlds, but he respects it and backs away.
Yep.
First Dragon goes over to Pyoshik actually.
Well, certainly going to continue doing so here if he lets him, as now Zeus going to get thrown out of his Between Worlds. Looks for some weirding here, but going all out is Dudu, finds the flash, but there is the blast cone. Dudu avoids it though, so he doesn't get further away, and he finds the Q! Max range, that's the
Q3 to snipe him. That's as far. He's like, I'm a range champion at this one specific moment. Just look at that. As he's trying to go Between Worlds, gets pulled in. Blast Cone helps him survive for now.
That sidestep was revolt. That was blind.
He's just like, how do you like playing against a ranged top laner? If you're HLE, I think DNS are just going to get it.
Let's see whether Kanavi can do anything. The answer is no. He's just going to be backing in the Tri-Brush. Decides to cancel it. Let's see whether they can find an angle as Duckdom. Oh dear, there it is. Cease and desist can come down, but he swaps targets to the clone. I'm not sure about that one, as now Closer comes in, but there's a seismic shove. And Zeka is going to stop that one from happening. Wow, Kanavi. Was that what happened?
I don't want to see actually.
Some money did pop up, so I'm not going to say that the zoom in was necessary here as Zeus might be in a little trouble.
He did avoid everything so far. Let's see what he can do next.
Yep, gone between worlds here as Closer throws out the Orb of Deception, and I think Zeus may be dead, as Rock and a Hard Place doesn't really tell the story, as Peter will take a lot of damage, but will be able to make it
Interesting
out.
place to drop it. Oh, well, in fact, it will be a Talia ult going down. Oh,
yeah.
No way.
Oh, he's going to reposition and still get the charge? Oh, no.
All right, this is going to have to be the first WA TV Talia wall segment of the year.
I think so. Let's see whether we will have Wadid there. Hopefully he doesn't talk too much about sheets, because that makes us a little bit nervous. As Dr.
He's going to start the next desk off with a clean slate, Atlas.
Yes, and I hope he does hold up a Okay, taking some plates down as Yoshik just by himself going to be securing this third Drake.
Zeus is going to get a turret for Hextech Soul Point. I guess that's all they can really get here is... we did supposed to do this one.
We're going to get Zeka TV.
Yeah?
Agreed. All right. Well, Gumiushi did manage to soak the majority of the Mystic shots in lane, and so is struggling here a little bit. There's a cease and desist. They just blow up Doctor. Goodbye. That's what happens if you hit all of the Mystic shots onto Gumiushi. You just die. Kanavi just says goodbye to you.
I mean, if you put something in front of Kanavi's face, you dangle a carrot.
Yeah.
He will bite.
He will bite, yes. And you, if you're scratching your head as to why, then the joke's on you. As double ulti going to connect here from Delight between worlds, and down goes the Nico. Zeka just bouncing around his circle, and Dudu will survive, but he is looking a little worse for wear, and HLE just coming alive here in this mid game.
Yeah, it's just one overstep from the Ezreal, who has Flash and E. Does not matter. They're going to try to... Okay.
Yeah, Closer just pressing that R button, seeing what he can get done here, but that is a clone that's going to get thrown around. Closer still looking for it. True Shot Barrage from base. Dr. just announces that he is
playing
back
in the esports industry.
I also think that it might have been why the dinosaurs went extinct.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Yeah, crocodiles survive because they have bad hearing. That's why. All right, HLE setting up to try and deny this Hextech Soul. Great charm connects onto Kanavi. He does manage to get Mikhail's, but into the backline goes Peter. Finds 3 with the pop blossom, but the massive damage from this Aurora comes on through. Pyoshik looking to try and find an angle, though. It's a magical journey, gets Delight to safety, and Zeus now finds himself alone. Dudu getting thrown around like a ragdoll, but he is a very healthy ragdoll who goes all out onto Zeka looking for the angles here. Does get flung back though and will be taken out as Closer doesn't quite manage to find it, and the flash forward from Gumiushi. He sees his targets vulnerable and he takes him down. As DNS, they do have a couple of members left alive, and it looks like we will have...
It's able to help Guma again. Continue to chip away at this health bar. It's a really long replay. We probably got to jump into Dragon now.
Yeah, I have a feeling, because we do have DNS coming back up, so... Oh, it's the steal! That's going to be Hextech Soul! As Pyoshik finally shows up here at the perfect time! Takes out Kanavi as well! And DNS, I mean, they fell off the horse, but you know what you have to do, Wolf? You just jump back in that saddle and you start right.
All you need. Now we're starting Baron. Kanavi's dead.
Oh god. Okay. DNS really looking to try and
Ezreal
make
is
use of this.
pretty good with Hextech Soul.
Peter does find a pop blossom on Zeus. It's not the Hextech gate he wanted to take as he tries to go between the worlds, but unfortunately DNS is on every side of the world.
Yeah, and unfortunately, actually get a flank angle onto Duckdom. I think it's insanely good that Peter realizes instantly that he needs to pop blossom him and then turn the rest of the team back to focus him down. Hanwha Life Esports cannot follow the play. It was a really cool idea from Zeus there. On second look, it actually could have maybe even saved that.
Very dark on Summoner's Rift for HLE. And DNS have just
TP flank.
Sidestep there as Doctor might be able to dive on over as Zeus gets on in. Does do a fair bit of damage there, takes 50% of the health bar of the Ezreal as Kanavi moves over Pop Blossom to hold onto him. True Shot Barrage to do a fair bit of damage, but Peter now without an ultimate. Teleport does come in from the Ahri though, as Closer looking for a flank angle. Dudu is a little worse for wear though, and this is an awkward fight as Zeus dives around the battlefield. Zeka in trouble though as Pyoshik gets the Cyclone onto Gumiushi, who's down to 50 50%. Down goes Zeus as he takes matters into his own hands. And unfortunately, DNS have Hextech Soul. And it's just really hard to be a tricky Aurora in this game.
Yeah, in the scrappy fight, when you have the Ahri flank as well from closer, it's really tough to be in Hanwha Life Esports' position into Hextech Soul. This is a very, very low health Ahri, and they are going to come over for a contest. Kanavi does have flash. He's also Vi, but I think the timing is a little bit tricky.
Yeah, Dudu is at full health. He is so incredibly scary, but HLE, they could possibly get this one done as he steals it away! He might be denied an exit from the pit, but they get denied the Baron as well. Beautifully done here for HLE to try and hold.
He's redeemed significantly from it.
And also, kind of ironically, Pyoshik's lead was 1,400. All right, Zeus is dead, ladies and gentlemen.
He is
Closer just finds him.
He's 0-6 in this game. He's trying to be a playmaker, but it is just not working out. This blind Aurora pick. And that might cost them Elder in the game.
Yeah, well, it's serious time, Wolf, and he's playing. That's the unfortunate part. That's all right. I know how this one goes. DNS, they have a man advantage, but they may not necessarily have a smite advantage. So let's just see whether Kanavi can do it again.
I mean, he's on the edge. He's got vision in the pit. Maybe they should clear that this time.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for the turn. There's the flash charm onto Zeus. He does get Mikhail's, but it does not quite work as Kanavi decides he wants to go in, desperately trying to save the play, and it does not work. Peter keeps himself alive. Gumayushi takes the magical journey, has to flash, as there is the Tempered Fate to try and buy some space, but the Elder is picked up. True Shot Barrage, and the Dragon descends from the skies to get some revenge.
Pretty good about that one. He'll interrupt his back in this case. Zeus does respawn here, but is only desperately going to try to clear the wave to buy time.
Well, you will see whether it won't work. The Dragon's angry, and Pyoshik is going to
he clears the wave
on to the Aurora.
He did the other things on the map.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change the outcome of the game, but it did stop the game from ending right then.
It was correct. It just didn't really matter necessarily.
Yeah. Kind of cute. Let's see whether they have another team fight in them. As Between Worlds goes Zeus once again. Does do a little bit of chip damage as Dr. Arm taking a fair bit, as well as Gumayushi getting slowed down. Man, Hextech Soul is stupid. It really is frustrating.
It's really crazy when you have that and the Elder.
Yeah, they have kind of all of the things. Baron's going to be up in 2 minutes' time. They've got 30 seconds left of Elder. And Dr. Arm Arcane shifts over the Weaver's Wall. And they were able to break open the base here.
Slow and steady. I mean, he has Sereldas on top of all of this. Like, this game should not be losable here for DNS.
Oh, you say that. But I was watching yesterday. Okay, Zeka taking a fair bit of damage here from the poke out of DNS. As Pyoshik over the wall, Dudu just tanking up the Baron.
Pyoshik's positioning here really strong.
Oh, Pop Blossom finds Gumayushi and Zeus as well. Kuma goes into the Tempered Fate. Delight trying to keep him safe, but Dudu will jump on top of him. Goes all out to take him down. Closer is dead as well, though, as Pyoshik gets into that back line. And Delight looking a little worse for wear, but HLE, they are backing away. They have lost Guma, but they've traded 1 for 1. And if you're losing by this much, 1 for 1 ain't bad.
Yeah, Pyoshik actually doesn't end up getting that much value because the fight happened playable.
Well, a second Elder Dragon, Wolf. Let's see whether that is going to be enough to change the tables, as Kanavi could be in trouble. Another Cyclone from Pyoshik. True Shot Barrage, a lot of damage. And Kanavi just barely survives. As it's a hot cup of cocoa delivered from Delight to help him out there. But now he has to go back.
Yeah, I mean, he's not dead.
That should be free Elder.
He's not dead, but he's effectively dead because he cannot.
He's not dead, but he's dead?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, Tempered Fate is going to make the Elder golden.
Buy time, buy time. Hexgate in, Kanavi, come on.
Oh, dear. So that is together right now.
It's Exodia with Hextech Soul and the 4 Drake to 0. It could only be more Exodia if they had 3 grubs to end these turrets fights.
Yeah, we need
left.
I need Kangas. Where's Kangas?
Arm,
he's
right
the Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Yeah. And then the Forbidden One himself.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Oh, Dr. Arm. I don't know about that. Dr. Arm.
He doesn't get shoved, and he has GA.
He has a GA. But like that was still very
Like I said, that was unlosable. Unlosable.
Oh, shit. Stop it, Wolf.
Unlosable situation.
I've seen the game in this position. Okay. Pop Blossom from Peter finds absolutely nothing as Gumayushi, he actually walked into the snare part of it and will be backing away. The Dragon almost takes him down as he gets back towards the fountain. Oh, closer! He will just get 1-2 punch, but Kanavi's going to get answered. Zeus goes down as well. First Nexus turret to fall. Dr. Arm and Dudu now standing back, but but that could have gone way, way worse.
I mean,
for
they have
HLE.
the cannon minion here. The top wave is super far away.
I mean, DNS have Exodia Wolf. That should be game over.
Yeah, I think it will be because Dudu shows
All
back
right,
up.
that's a lot of health bar. My goodness, he has so much health bars. Okay, Peter almost dead. As Gumayushi sitting at full health here. Dom looks for the angle, has to flash to get out of the way. The seismic shove. Dudu is basically immortal in this game. Just hit the Nexus. Dom, just hit the Nexus. As the dragon comes down from the sky, Dudu almost dies to the fountain, but DNS bring us to 3 games.
Definitely should. You know, it's going to be hard to punish there on the bottom side, so I think we'll see a lot of jungle attention top and mid, maybe even pathing up to the top side of the map, which is quite unusual, especially with Zeus getting more of that Fury. I think it's the right call to step away once that Conqueror sound effect is heard. As Closer knows that this Rise has no ghost.
Oh god, yeah. Closer just looking for it, finds the Twin Fang, and that is just assault.
And that's going to be Dragon. Started up at least.
Well, Zeus having to deal with Dudu, who's having a bit of fun on his Aatrox. Actually, some of the best Dudu moments.
We keep kind of zooming in on it. As you mentioned, it's volatile. I think the observers agree.
Well, Kanavi and Zeka both up here towards this top side, but Pyoshik is going to join, and he just says, please leave, everyone, and they won't. They'll just kill him instead. Kanavi almost dead, though, as Dudu looking for some knockups. Closer here just a little too late, and HLE will be able to strike back.
They're going to try to do it anyways. I mean, Delight has ult. He is Nautilus, so he can root them.
Yeah, does also have Aftershock as in goes Peter. They want to kill this Ziggs. Let's see whether they can actually find him. There's the onslaught of shadows, but down goes Peter. And Pyoshik, now at full health, does have to deal with Zeka rotating over, but Closer is right behind him.
I think it's worth. Zeka had to ult there, or I mean, didn't have to, but opted to, and isn't able to really impact the play so hard in that moment with the ulting Hecarim and all that.
There were a lot of bad guys.
Kanavi is a bad guy.
He is. And he's going to be able to throw down a parking cone here. There's a subjugate as well, and Dudu is just dead. Sliced and diced, turned into sushi.
To be clear, I mean,
well,
this is going to be, looks like another potential dragon take here for DNS. There's a contest, though. Peter on the flank.
Yeah, Moonlight Vigil does go down, but there's the hook on to Darkdom. Has to flash out of the way of the Mega Inferno Bomb. The bouncing bomb's flying forward as well, but it's Delight to go down first. Petrifying Gaze, and it's a double here for Pyoshik. As Zeus has eyes only for Darkdom, but he's not able to get up to him. And Pyoshik is now just moving forward. The flash from Dudu as well doesn't find the Q, but Pyoshik pounces on the Crocodile. And Zeka and Gumayushi, I don't think they're going to have enough to be able to take them down, although these health bars are so low. Infernal Chains, not going to be enough. And that's the kill over to the Rel of all people, as Darkdom needs to try and fight this dragon, as there's the satchel. It gets a little bit distracted, does the dragon, but Pyoshik smites it down. And Gumayushi just being frustrated. No one really wants to fight him right now, as it's a Hextech Soul once again. I think Peter is just dead. Gumayushi will finally be able to take him down, I assume. But the crashdown comes on forward. Oh no.
Hextech Gate.
He takes the Hextech Gate to safety.
That's support's dying randomly like that.
I guess so. Wow. Technology really has come a long way.
Darkdom does not have his summoner spell.
Yeah, what about AD carries just dying? That could be a thing that happens here, as he's got Infernum and Severum not really helping out here, and it's just going to be a bonk to the noggin to take him down. Kanavi going to grab some plate. Still, this Aatrox is going to be pretty scary. Darkdom does have red-white, but I don't know whether that's going to be enough to actually do anything here, as he's just eaten by Kanavi.
Those have not been as successful for him.
No.
When you take the Aphelios off the map like that, you can take even more. You can take the jungle.
Oh, dear. Zeka he was almost out, but now he's pretty dead.
Yeah, it sounded...
as the horses just canter on top of him. Oh, no.
It sounded like he was going to be able to complete the recall, but
that's what I thought too.
I guess not.
Well, Dominus, World Ender, we've got ultimates coming out here from both of our top laners, as Dudu is just thinking that maybe no is going to be his answer for whether or not he wants to fight, as there are a lot of people making their way up towards his top side. As Hextech Minefield goes down, and Dudu, I think, is just dead. Depth Charge might be enough to finish him off, but Gumayushi, he has the damage and is able to take down the Aatrox.
This is going to be an exchange for a bit of crescendum damage here on the mid-turret. Kanavi does not know that Darkdom is not alone.
Well, it's 2 plates immediately taken down here as Pyoshik might be in trouble as he takes about 1 billion turret shots. Onslaught of Shadows to try and get him to safety, but he gets smoked. The Magnet Storm is not enough to save the horse, and Darkdom, oh dear, he is once again the target, and he is once again dead.
Delight is having a game.
He is.
He is everywhere. He's hitting these max range dreads on.
As HLE looking to take down this Rift Herald, they should be able to do so pretty comfortably. Kanavi with the King's Tribute gets full health immediately afterwards. Feels pretty cool there as Moonshot discovers Gumayusi and Delight.
Going to be maybe a turret going down for Closer if he gets some additional time. Not going to be around to defend this one though, so could just straight up be a trade. It looks like that is going to be the case.
Yep.
It takes him a little bit of time to clear that wave, but I think he should get it there in this dragon, which would be Hextech's sole point. If there's a way back into the game, that is absolutely it. That's additional peel for the Aphelios. All those slows are going to feel amazing if they can secure it. And when you look at the setup here for this fight, they have full prio. They have Ghost and ult for Pioshik. So this is, I think, the last stand here for DNS. If they mess this fight up, if they cannot win this one cleanly, it might just be all downhill from here.
There's the minefield. Pioshik taking a bit of damage from that as Dudu now looking for that flank angle as Pioshik's running real quick.
Zeka just wants to ult in.
Yeah.
He can both clear this wave and then ult in. And DNS are not being decisive. They want to either push Zeka or start this drag, and Dudu's trying to collapse the other side.
This ward is getting so much value. It is absolutely ridiculous. Onslaught of Shadows does come in, but Zeka was ready for it as they saw exactly what they wanted to do. Pioshik's running real fast with that Ghost, but Zeka used his as well as the flash. But now no Onslaught of Shadows, and Dudu in the back of this Dragon Pit does have to get himself out with that Umbral Dash.
I mean, basically, HLE have checkmate here with his position. I mean, Zeka lost his Summons, but they lost the Hecarim ultimate, so I think they're pretty okay with the trade, because Zeka could just use his ult to get into this fight at any moment here. DNS are going to have to find an angle with Peter, or just leave, question mark? I guess they're just going to say, look, I mean, this is just not viable. It was checkmate. Nice try.
And Rift Herald is piloted here by Delight. I don't know whether that's exactly choice. Still yet to have that new one, but we'll see whether he puts that together next. As he does have a possible angle. There is the Onslaught of Shadows as he gets on top of Gumayusi. He flashes away. Hextech Minefield is there though, and down goes the horse with zero response from DNS. As Dudu now looking for it against Zeus here. Hits basically everything that he wants to, but does still have to get himself out as Peter crashes over the wall. That is going to keep him safe.
It looked like a huge opportunity for Pioshik and crew. There's just no follow-up.
Yeah.
Guma flashed, and that was
quite a few times.
So many of Pioshik's iconic wins in the LCK have been with this champion in late game scenarios where he saves the game. Dudu.
Yeah, there's the Umbral Dash flash, but unfortunately there's a cone, and sometimes a cone is all you need. And that is what takes down a Dudu. Turret is still pretty healthy, and this Cassiopeia doesn't do a massive amount of damage to them. Does have the first 2 items completed though. Those scaling ones are now done. But HLE are just taking an inner turret here towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think that this is not really the trade that DNS wants, but it's the only trade that HLE will allow.
Yeah, and they're also going to take an inhibitor turret.
He's going to ult that. Wants to get on top of the champions with that ability.
Well, DNS not turning their attention towards this mid lane. Wanted to get control there as the Dragon going down lower and lower. Zeus and Dudu just fighting off to the side. Minefield is put down there by Gumayusi. Zeus gets into the pit, Mega Inferno Bomb on top of DNS as they look for the angle. Dragon is secured here by HLE, but now the fight is on. Down goes Delight to start it off as red-white guns have been put together by Doctorm. Zeka able to hold him in position with that Rune Prison though. And so it is just a kill and trade for the Dragon, and I think HLE are pretty happy with the outcome.
HLE setups on both of these dragons. DNS need to win a fight. Even 5,000 gold lead here, be damned, is some setup here with Closer and Peter. Or maybe if the Hecarim can actually do something this game, it would be great.
Yeah, Peter is in trouble, does crash over the wall, has to flash to avoid that one. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, and Peter is so close to dead. Zeus will be able to get it done as there's a Realm Warp. Petrifying Gaze onto 2, and the Onslaught of Shadows comes through as well. Doctorm trying to get the damage down as he flashes out of the way. Good use of the Graviton there to peel for himself. Zeus just makes his way out. And Moonlight Vigil, I don't think that's going to quite be enough there. Zeus is pretty tanky. Still, it's a lot of things he can do from a very long range, but still not able to kill the Crocodile.
Is it enough to stop the Baron? I don't think so. Zeus needs to be careful, though.
Yeah, Kanavi is so incredibly healthy as well. He can tank this for days.
There's no engage. There's no way to get on top of Guma. He can actually stand in the front. He does not care. And I think that is just finally going to be the Baron going over here for Hanwha Life.
Yep. And they also got the flash out of Doctarm as well as the Ghost. So next
A lot of damage on the Zeus.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now as DNS, you're like, well, that's it. We don't have any engaged. We can't get them. We can't get the bad guys.
Well, this inhibitor turret is not long for the world. That's just going to blow up thanks to a satchel. Inhibitor is going to follow as well.
I mean, there were 2 in top lanes. They can just get this for free.
Yeah, teleport flank angle for the Cassiopeia of all champions as they take out 2 inhibitors.
They are kind of in an awkward spot here, though, with Closer's angle.
Yeah. As the Hex Gate for Zeus, he's on a pretty good flank angle as now Kanavi dives on top of the Snake Lady. Mega Inferno Bomb goes down and she will die. Onslaught of Shadows a little bit late in this one as Doctarm is the target and he's swept up by Zeus. And HLE, I think, will now just parade towards the enemy Nexus and take it down. DNS, it was a decent start. They had that one good fight. But it's been all HLE the entire time since. 10,000 gold the lead, and they will be able to pick up the win here and make it 2-0 on the week.
Every time he's given the opportunity to, he really likes this matchup, and it is a strong one for the Gwen. A lot of magic damage here on the side of Gen.G, but not a lot of options to... Please stop getting Smash's barrier. He doesn't like to use it like that.
Well, he hasn't, so he's probably okay for now. Oh, public execution towards his top side as She's looking for the solo kill. Keen, couple more autos, but Keen turns it, never mind. Showmaker comes in and saves the...
Canyon is going to start this. Chovy is in the area. They're looking for a play topside. They cancel it, though.
Yeah, Keen actually has the needlework back up, and Shiu doesn't have his ultimate, and so he's just dead. Solo bolo over to Keen. Very nicely played. And now Gen.G, Chains of Corruption do go wide, but they still manage to take down that dragon. Duro now magically journeys his way out, but Lucid not going to get stunned up here, as there is the boat flying out. The tidal wave not really going to connect, as now Showmaker in a very unfortunate position, does have to flash to get out of the way of Canyon, as now Lucid, he's looking to exit. DK looking a little bit...
I think it was the right choice, but kill pressure, but off the cards. Could try to get this crystalline overgrowth, but it's too risky. In fact, not going to get it, and also possibly going to be too risky.
It's Ambassador.
He has
just dash and then do more dashes, as there it is. There's a knock-up on a Canyon as well, who's delivered backwards. Duro throwing down the Tempered Fate, locks up a couple. Shiu not quite able to answer too much, is out. He will go. Showmaker makes his way in, though, as now Canyon gets his Triumph proc and actually keeps himself alive to flash forward from Shiu, but there's the Cosmic Binding to hold him in place. Big ol' shield thanks to that Eclipse, as now Showmaker, realizing with Chovy making his way in, he is probably dead, and tells his young top laner just to save himself.
It's a really rough exchange there from Dplus. It looked so good at the outset. But because Duro is also have control of this dragon for the moment.
Yeah, Lucid is going to walk up, though. Let's see who's going to be able to win the smite fight. It is just going to go over to Lucid there. Locks up the Cloud Drake as into the bubble goes the Xin Zhao. As wall is put down, Lucid in a lot of trouble. He's just dead. Does survive for quite some time and actually gets a lot of his health bar back, but still not going to be enough to save him.
This is a huge win, though, for Dplus. Like, it's light. As the smite timing here is, okay, hold up.
Yep, meanwhile in live, we have a very dead Chovy, or at least a very egg Chovy, until he's a dead Chovy. It's going to take a little bit of time, but there it goes, and that is a kill over to Shiu. The Ambessa
resources here, and they're playing through him as, speaking of Shiu.
Yeah, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, I might add, as Canyon does go in. He just wants to get out of the way. Yeah, dashing is something that this Ambessa can do. Tempered Fate will be able to hold him in position, and the attempted juke is actually going to work to his detriment, as gets a bunch of shields, but still snip, snip, and down he will go. Turret falls on the top side of the map, though. That is going to be first turret blood over to DK.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this doesn't really bother Dplus all that much. Showmaker is also going to try to get this first initial plate here on the inner.
Some crystalline overgrowth has started to build.
Showmaker does have his Seraphs completed and transformed, so going to feel good about this as we're bringing everyone.
It's just going to get flashed on. There's the ulti to try and keep them at bay. Is Duro tanking up the turret nicely, and that should mean that the Ambessa does go down. Duro able to move out of the way of the angry turret and keeps himself alive. And so now another one going to fall down in exchange for an outer on the bottom side. But Chovy is going to survive as Realm Warp is just going to get rid of the Rift Herald, who just crashes into a wall on the other side of the map. I'm interested in how this fight's going to go. The first Ocean Drake of the game, as it is another Ocean Soul. We've had a fair few this week. But Gen.G in position, they will start this one up, and it's going down pretty quickly, as Duro possibly stunned up here, and in fact he is, or at least snared. Okay, flash forward from Lucid. It is Canyon that locks down the Dragon, as now Lucid is in the back of the pit, having to deal with Chovy, and Canyon wants to be able to flag drag his way out, but it's not quite going to work. Yeah, just taken out by the Xin Zhao. Now Xiu finds himself alone in the backline, and it's just Lucid that goes down after attempting a steal.
But the moment in time where Gen.G have this lead feels really good for Chovy. He's going to get the transform to 15.
Yeah, he's actually, I think it's going to tick over. Yeah, there it is, right now.
It says on Showmaker's phone right now. I don't know what it means.
Oh, I wonder whether it means that Keen is going to be okay or not. As flash out of the way of Canyon, and Xiu, unfortunately, is going to be the one that dies. Get off the phone. My goodness. His career moving down towards this bottom side. And that should just be this inner turret going down, and it is. Gen.G secure that one, and it's because this could have been a soul that they would be fighting for. Is okay, there's a public execution right on top of Ruler, as Xiu, still pretty healthy, is now Keen diving on forward. They get rid of Xiu though, and Ruler is going to survive. So it's not exactly working out here for Dplus, as now Showmaker running around trying to avoid the skill shots, but he can't do any damage. The Gwen will finally go down. Showmaker lasts a lot longer than I think a lot of people expected, but that's 3 dead for 1.
That's Baron. They're just going to take the magical journey with the wave clear they have.
Yeah, the playability is low,
and like
that's absolutely true.
The follow-up for Xiu's engage just
too little and potentially too late for them to really get too much done as the Glacial Storm goes up.
I just don't think this is the kind of game you can win unless you win a huge team fight swimmingly to get enough map control back.
Yeah, well, public execution on top of Canyon here. Does have the Crescent Guard to keep himself alive. The Baron is going to help take down this inner turret though. And in the meantime, you've got Keen running amok and taking down this inner in mid at the same time. So Gen.G just splitting the map, making things real awkward for DK.
The realm warp for Showmaker as well. Gen.G were like, oh, are they taking that? Please do. They like all turned around when they saw it. They were like, ooh.
Wow. That's a lot of damage the turret takes.
That was big damage, but I don't think they care.
Oh, another flash rush coming in there as the tidal wave knocks up Chovy, but they just cannot get close enough.
Xiu doesn't have ult, so the Gen.G have really put the screws into these inhibitors.
And Ruler has been so frustrating. He's just always too far away.
He's getting closer to having his ultimate back, so they need to leave. 10 seconds on that one. Maybe this could be the first angle that Dplus have had in a while here to maybe get something done.
Good vision available here for Gen.G, though, to know exactly where they are. Cosmic Binding does go wide. DK still wanting to get something done here, as there's the public execution on top of Canyon as Lucid dives forward as well. Great use of the tidal wave as the bubble is going to come through there. Chovy able to flash out of the way, and Showmaker into the backline wants to try and kill Keen, but he's so incredibly fed on this Gwen. Chovy finishes him off in the end, and Gen.G, they're just like an impenetrable fortress.
They just played it so perfectly. They left no margin for error. Now Lucid,
I think he's going to be test. That's all right. DK back out onto the map now, as teleport is very short here for the Gwen. As Xiu goes in, so does Lucid though. Great Cataclysm is Tempered Fate to hold Gen.G in position, buying time for Keen as best they can. But Chovy going to go down as the Ambassador dancing around the fight. Canyon so close to dead, but Korea can't do anything about it, and he's going to get taken out. Into the backline goes the Jarvan, but why is Canyon still alive?
He's super, super low, but does survive.
Look at Canyon's health bar.
Yeah, and he may be sundering the sky a little bit on those final hits.
And Gen.G are just going to take Baron by the this game.
You think it would take 2 or 3 autos from Keen to kill that turret with Crystalina for
Well, there's a public execution as Xiu dives in. They're looking to time it here as Canyon in a good spot right now.
Showmaker?
Chovy trying to dance his way out of there, but Showmaker gets a big old shield and it's just not enough. Both of them lying on the floor as now Keen taking matters into his own hands. Smash still trying to do the damage back as Keen will look a little bit low. But yeah, in trade for Lucid and Showmaker's lives, I don't think this is going to work because the teleport back in from Chovy is just going to net the end of the inhibitor turret in mid lane. And in very quick succession, most of these structures are going to be disintegrating right before your eyes. And Gen.G, I feel like this entire game was just about preventing DK from being able to play. As Smash will finally die for the very first time this game, right before his Nexus follows suit. That is going to be the delayed ace, and it will be completed. Nexus dies as well, and Gen.G...
Very immobile into a composition that has Wukong, Galio, Ashe, Seraphine.
Yeah, it does lack a little bit of the ability to get out of the way of all of this stuff that's just going to be thrown. He has his ultimate up and available. Lucid moving over, looking for both Ruler and Duro, as there's the Arc of Ruin. Underneath the turret goes Lucid, as Ruler is going to go down. That is first blood over to Smash, but the answering kill does immediately come in. Canyon looking to try and get his way forward, as there's the flash out from Korea, and the flash immediately answered there by Canyon. He wants to get in with another Nimbus strike, but doesn't quite connect. Duro's there though, and locks down the Yunara. Much control at all. Blackfire Torch is now done for Showmaker, so first item is going to be coming on through there, as the Equalizer is put through this top lane from Keen, just to make sure that he creates the tempo that he wants.
And they want to set up for Grubs here very soon, and
this is frightening. There is Wild Growth and the ulti from Smash here available, but there is the Gargoyle's heroic entrance. The arrow's going to come down there as the cleanse immediately stops that one from happening, but there's the Encore, and there is just CC for days, overloading the bottom lane 4 versus 2, and there's nothing DK can do about it.
Yeah, Showmaker gets a plate, and Lucid gets a Grump. All right.
Is now 100% kill contribution on this Seraphine.
It's those guys.
0-3. My goodness.
And okay, let's see. Lucid can find the angle.
Lucid dives in, finds the Vault Breaker, and down will go Canyon before he can do anything. Wild Growth onto Lucid to keep him alive, as now Duro desperately trying to get out, but Lucid saying, this is my buy, and we will find a win here in this mid-game, and Lucid do manage to get something done.
Lucid says, let's get in there quickly and shut this down. It's not in position. They don't have the champs to do it either. And, I mean, you know, this Dragon just goes over for free. Chovy's free farming in the bottom lane. And Lucid is going to try to start up this Herald. I don't even know.
Not going to be taking this Rift Herald either.
It's just another one on the list.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Duro can deny them entry easily.
Lucid is level 11, so he is pretty scary. And now Xiu is ulting his way forward. Duro might be his target, as there he is, able to crash his way in. That is going to be the steal over to Lucid, but is he going to pay for it with his life? That's the question. The Cyclone comes down. Scatter the Weak is fantastic as Lucid. He can flash the wall, but he's also got a Vault Breaker. Xiu is going to die, and I don't think the eye is going to go over to DK. Zombie Scion could have tried to get there, but instead, he is just going to be taken out. So it is just going to be the Rift Herald.
You know, Xiu just is unable to really impact that that fight at all with his ult in.
So this is feeling...
But it gets tougher and tougher the further you fall behind. And when you don't have map control, making plays like that feel like pipe dreams. I mean, you can see here, Lucid tries to make one now.
Yeah, here's another drive from Xiu, but this time, unfortunately, just crashes into the wall. Cyclone out from Canyon, not exactly getting too much value, as Lucid able to Vault Break his way out, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow doesn't exactly get too much done. Korea Wild Growth himself just to peel, and then Keen getting into the back line, but Xiu is there as a brick wall. So DK, good defense, right? Unfortunately, a defense doesn't necessarily win you the game, as Ruler almost dies. The Arc of Ruin, not enough though. And Showmaker avoiding the Winds of War quite nicely. And DK will be able to get away with their lives intact.
It's really going to get harder and harder in this game. And
Chovy! Chovy gets in there. Taunt is going to connect onto only Lucid, though, as everybody else able to flash themselves out. There's a teleport in, though, as Duro is going to die to the turret. Keen might be doing the same thing, but actually the turret hasn't got mad at him yet. It's Chovy that comes down on top and starts tanking it up. Xiu gets the knock up there, as Duro in trade for Lucid is it right now, but Ruler now trying to get a little bit aggressive. Slow.
You really have to try to find a target and commit all together.
Well, Keen gonna get knocked up. Let's see whether the Smash can help take him down, as the heroic entrance does come on in, and that is going to defend the Rumble, and they take down the Dragon. DK just not really able to answer anything that Gen.G are throwing out.
Gen.G's comp just is so good defensively, and they have map control, they have prio. Lucid wants to flank, but I think he should probably think twice.
Yeah.
Think twice.
Rotating over. There is the taunt, and I think Lucid's just dead. There's the Encore. Beat drop comes on down, and yeah, Scatter the Weak is there from Showmaker, but that's all he really offers, and it's just a dead Lucid.
This
have to flash as well to avoid the beat drop. Lucid still fighting here, as Chovy just gets out. Heroic entrance to join the rest of his team. Xiu going to die as well. Oh, never mind! He gets a big old shield and survives. In the meantime, there's a knock-up out from Xiu. Does have to flash as well to avoid the beat drop. Lucid still fighting here, as Chovy just gets out. Heroic entrance to join the rest of his team. Xiu going to die as well. Oh, never mind! He gets a big old shield and survives. But what's the point of surviving if you're just slowly losing the game? Oh, and
Canyon.
there's the Cyclone. Maybe it's a bit faster than I would have otherwise thought. Both of the carries dead in the blink of an eye. And Gen.G are going to turn their sights towards the inner turret and possibly everything else.
Canyon having a phenomenal Wukong game here. As hard as they may swing, as much as they may struggle, they can make no dents in Gen.G.
They need to buy some like Wolverine claws or something like that. Because, yeah, okay, Lucid's going to go in and doesn't manage to get the steal, but he got pretty close. Canyon does not early smite this time around as the arrow is going to connect onto Korea, who is very, very dead. Shiu's also very dead. And Showmaker and Smash are just kind of left wondering what the heck. Too keen. But even if there are some nice answers, in goes Lucid. All right, here's the Hail Mary, the heroic entrance. It comes down as Smash trying to keep himself safe. They take down Lucid to start this off, as it is going to be a kill on Darula. They find one. Showmaker able to get something done, as now Smash throws out that Arc of Ruin onto Chovy. Not able to find too much more, as these harpoons from Kane took so much damage. It is going to be a 1-for-1, and when you're really far behind, a 1-for-1.
And then the equalizer was dropped just for Siege. Dplus had one opportunity there. They seized one ruler.
Yeah, and that's about it. Chemtech Soul now put together.
It saves
well
the game.
Yeah.
As the diadem into Moonstone.
He's
so much
a monster.
healing.
There's the flash taunt here. Gets a lot of flashes out of DK. Shiu is going to show up as well. Smash trying to get some autos down and is actually able to get a little bit of work done as Chovy's interrupted. This might be a kill, as there's that Arc of Ruin that you were talking about before, but the flash in from Keen, the Unar overstepped, and it's a heroic entrance now from Chovy. Scatter the Weak is fantastic out of Showmaker, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough here as DK are circling the drain, and despite their best efforts, the gold lead for Gen.G just keeps on increasing.
Lucid trying to catch this wave. He will be able to buy some additional time here. They need to buy time for Smash to respawn, otherwise this game will just simply end.
Yeah, this inhibitor is certainly going to go down as Showmaker does not get hit by the Encore. So, I mean, he might come back on stage once again. We'll just have to see as Chovy is going to taunt up Career. It's just a little bit sad at this stage, isn't it? As he throws out the Wild Growth and does run away. He's actually going to survive somehow, but the Nexus turrets are not. And Gen.G, what an absolute domination here in this best of 3. 2 drafts that looked unplayable against. And DK just left scratching their heads with a loss in the column for the first time this LCK Cup. Gen.G remain undefeated.
The streak continues.